Happy Monday, everyone. Today, we're going to build a brand new version of Jordan GPT. The idea here is to help you identify what data matters, why it matters, what data we can find online, and basically to give you everything you need to to buy my service. Usually I'm not self-serving, but today I'm basically going to set you up to figure out what is the custom data that you need, where does it exist online, how can ChatGPT help you find it. So you're going to get everything here to help me build my chatbot. All right, now generally I always like to have Claude open because Claude gives me a different perspective, which I enjoy. Hello from the other side. Greet me with musical lyrics. I always like to start the chat to have it here as opposed to that would be copyright material. I'm like, yeah, but I could find it. Oh, anyways, okay, fine, it's copyright. All right, let's name this thing. Oh, actually, let's like start off with naming this thing. Whoa, not what I want. I'm trying to create a chatbot that has a very specific flow. The beginning of the flow involves spending an exorbitant amount of time viewing a customer's website and visiting all the pages, which I want ChatGPT to do with its built-in web capabilities. And then the next step would be to define the ideal customer profile and persona in exquisite detail. Detail that might even come from multiple responses where I will ask you to continue, but I want no fidelity lost. The other thing that I would like to do is, after this step, is to Google competitors. I have found the best web search here is company name competitors USA. Then I want you to view those pages and summarize anything that their customers are saying or users of competitors to understand not only who their customers are, but also the competitors. Additionally, I want you to focus when defining the ICP and persona on customer case studies. So again, the first workflow should be to go to the website and view all of the pages, then define the ICP and persona. Then go to the customer case studies where you can extract more information, refine the ICP and persona. Then the next step is actually to look at competitors and see what competitors are doing differently. So the very first steps of these bots are to get as much information from the public web as possible and also from your memory about companies and spaces, and to create a really robust understanding of the customer, their needs, desires, and how it compares with alternative options in the market. All right, so this is the start here. Usually I am more, the way that I've done this past is actually not this interface. And so this will be new to me. Usually I provide it really specific instructions myself. I generally don't like using the create feature because same thing with the problem with the models is you can't really control what it does. Just as I say that, it's like using unknown plugin. I'm like, why? That was really funny. I guess if I make a video, I probably shouldn't chew gum before I do it. Using unknown plugin. Oh, good. Well, that's great. That's cool. All right. I want you to call it Jordan GPT V2 and include a picture of a male model from San Francisco in yellow that's photorealistic and in the future. Basically, this is how I think of myself. Oh, it's not true at all. But the good thing is you can say anything to a chatbot and just as happy. Just happy to be here, as my friend Zach would say. Just happy to be here. Oh, you just by luck, right? It's gonna. Oh yeah. Oh, that's totally me. Okay, let's see. No. Make him about 45 pounds heavier, and make him have a beard, and make him smiling, like very smiling a lot, like very, very happy, almost Joker-like. This is not valuable too. This is just, I wouldn't do this if I wasn't having fun. We will get back to the real meat of this problem in a second. But why else do you watch? You know, a little entertainment goes a long way. All right, let's figure out the next series of prompts here. Okay, now that we've named this bot and we have a perfectly accurate picture of its creator. Okay, now that we have a perfectly accurate picture of its creator, what I want you to do next is figure out where information would exist to build a TAM list. So some companies, the best place to build a TAM list are like specific directories or public collections of people or associations. I'm really trying to figure out, because sometimes people work in very, very specific niches where the best place to build a list of all the companies in that niche is someone that's already built this list before. Other times, if they're just targeting generally by industry, a tool like Apollo or Ocean.io are great ways to do this. But I want you to be thorough and tell people where is probably the best publicly open and available source of list of companies that fit this criteria. So add that to the workflow. And make the guy lose like 40 pounds and redo the image too. I'm somewhere between those two things. Look at how tight this shirt is. Oh God. Generally, I don't like mixing prompts here, like the fact that it's redoing the image and updating the GPT. It's not as good as that. And then actually we need to find some startups that this will work on. So let's go to my good old friend Crunchbase. Let's companies. Let's see, founded financials. Oh, let's see. Financials. Let's do funding last 90 days. Oh, Mistral is interesting. Okay, let's actually try this guy. All right. Yeah, it's close enough. Okay, so it's got the TAM. Okay, so now that you've viewed the website, you've got customer context, and you've helped people build a TAM, what I want you to do next is I want you to impersonate the most knowledgeable person you know in that space, and I want you to describe everything that that person knows about the space. Now, ideally, you'll find someone that is actually in the space, but even if it's a fictional person, I want you to describe everything that they know about the space, why they're an expert, and generally explain their insights. Now, these insights could come from customer conversations. You might actually go search the web to find more case studies of people that buy this software so you can get in the head of the buyer. So I want you to next impersonate that buyer and describe everything about them. You can also take some of this from the ICP and buyer persona above. So all I'm doing here is, one of the things that's really helpful with the models is to slow roll it, to make it do steps to get it, I call it navigating it, making a 300-pound hippo turn. So just get it closer and closer and closer to the understanding. So now what I'm going to do after this, now what I want you to do is I want you to pretend to be a very well-educated seller or founder at that company. And I want you to figure out, if you had unlimited amounts of time to research everywhere on the internet about a prospect's company, what would you look for to identify if they need this product or service? Some ideas might be job postings from a tool like Blueprint Intent, keywords that exist inside of those jobs. It might be certain key hires. It might be social postings. It might be ratios of different employees. It could be tools and technologies they use. What I'm really trying to do is to find really, really bespoke public signals and information that a company that would basically identify that a company is a good fit. Now, generally, I know that any given data source is going to be 50% complete. So what I want you to do is identify at least 15 different pieces of public data I could gather that are very specific to the context of this company, the problem this company solves. And the idea is we're trying to build a logical argument that says if these 5 to 15 things are true about a company, that they absolutely need this company's product or service. Now, of course, there are going to be things that I can't know, but there's a lot of leakage of public information online. So I want you to give me a table of all of the signals, the justification for those signals as another column, the density of that signal. So for example, how much of it can I find publicly, and how confident you are that this means that they are likely in the market for this product or service, or they have the problem. So I want you to take these steps next. So I generally like to have the model, give me columns of information here to talk about why it believes something, because it allows me to kind of understand what is I know it doesn't reason, but what is the reasoning behind this so that I can evaluate the reasoning. Now, as the buyer of this product, which we impersonated earlier, I want you to critique these signals and identify which ones absolutely are associated with your problem and which ones are not. So I want you to rank order these into the top 7 signals or pieces of information that would identify that they have this problem. This should be ordered, but fill up the same columns and add one more column, which is buyer reasoning. Okay. Once it's updating, we're going to try it with this company. Wow, this is hard. Harnessing the power of human. That's great. That's a great line. Okay, good. There's like some case, well, at least a little bit of case studies. And there's enough here. So let's go to this GPT. Wow, look at how big Jordan is here. Wow, he's huge. It's just fake me. Okay, go. Wow, why is Jordan so big? Maybe I should replace it with a real picture of me. I wish I could make Jordan smaller here. Okay, it's good. Okay, go. Okay, great. Wow. Within the AI, oh, that's interesting. Oh no, why? Data science. This is good. That's good. That's interesting. Oh, interesting. Okay. Yeah, this is good. I want to actually inject clever ideas into the signals, because the concept that I'm trying to clarify here is that it's all about the creativity of sourcing the data. So, for example, things like how many API calls exist at checkout is a good way to identify a company that... Actually, let's cancel this and let's go to Claude. What I'm trying to do is I want you to impersonate the world's cleverest company researcher. They should be familiar with concepts like OSINT and Google dorking, as well as scraping data and working with large data sets. They also should be super familiar with what's possible by feeding data into a modern large language model. So what I want you to do is I want you to describe this person and what they would do in their... what specific things they would look for, tools and technologies that they might use, how would they actually go about doing their research. And the goal of this person is to try to find ideal customer profiles and the right people, mostly the ideal companies to buy and why they would buy now, based on taking data from the public web and structuring it. Be as specific as possible about unique things that they might look for, creative approaches that no one else is doing. I want this as far away from as possible from thinking about things like head count or titles. I want this to be much more specific, like what directories would they scrape, what technologies would they look for on websites, what's actually changing at the company, keyword search inside of job descriptions, and other things that are really hyper industry specific, and how they would go about finding them. So give me the most comprehensive understanding about what this very creative growth person what would the process they would take, and what are some examples of things they might look for. I think Claude's going to be the best at this, and I'm going to take this information and feed it back into the GPT chatbot. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Mr. Rogers. Maybe I should have it impersonate Mr. Rogers when talking. All right. Okay, that's good. That's good. That's good. Yep, that's good too. Great. Okay, what I'd like you to do now is one thing I know about these models is that they can take images. So I could take a screenshot of an unstructured website and summarize text. I can take a screenshot of a chatbot that they might have and understand how exactly they're using their chatbot. I can feed it all of the text of a website on the pricing page and ask it questions about what sort of enterprise offerings, do they have a PLG product, what are their pricings and packages. I can look in the privacy policy and terms and conditions to see how focused they are on privacy. I want you to keep in mind all of the recent advances in AI. Now, I'm not trying to be an expert in AI or machine learning, but there's a lot of things that even regular people can do with these tools that at scale across many customer websites that would help you understand the customer. And so can you update that with these specific ideas in mind and provide many more examples of creative approaches? All right. Ooh, why didn't that work? History. Oh. All right, let's take a look. Okay. Okay. That's interesting. Okay. Now, often these companies are targeting mid-market or smaller companies where not necessarily very large companies. So can you give me more examples that are really focused more on like kind of startups or other companies that aren't going to have things like patent filings, but they might post a lot on LinkedIn. They might have historical job openings. They might have a lot of really specific information on their website. Can you give me more examples that are super relevant to companies that are less big, and also companies that might be in regulated industries or that might have data on government websites, for example? A perfect example of this is like companies that sell into the trucking industry, right? There's a lot of U.S. Department of Information. Also, we should focus only on U.S. companies, so keep that in mind. So what I'm trying to do here is I want to give it more and more context about the types of things that I might look for so that it can really be ultra specific. Okay. Okay, that's good. We can do that. Okay. Product advertising, yeah. Okay. I'm actually building a chatbot in another tool, which I will not name here because it's your competitor. Can you summarize everything in this chat in such a way that will direct the bot to update its research capabilities to include these types of really specific clues? Be as comprehensive as possible and try to get as much information as possible. If you can't fit it all in one reply, you can ask me to continue. I want you to be extra thoughtful here and help this model think in nuanced ways. I generally like dancing with two different models here because it increases I think the types of creative output I get. And generally I like Claude. Wow, I keep... Oh, okay. Oh, this is great. Okay, this is amazing. Actually, what I want you to include here is like, look at competitor information, look at customer reviews of competitors and of their website, look at Glassdoor information for what employees might say. You might look at the company about page to understand their culture and their desires. You might look at the company blog. So redo this and include everything you've included above, but then also include other things that you might do about where information might leak out about what's happening with the company, the market, or the company's customers. So I'm just trying to give it more and more context here about things that it might look for, because part of the value in this thing is to get it to think like me and to be as creative as possible. Uh-oh. Go outside. There's a fly in the house. That's what you came here for. Hard-hitting content about insects. All right. Focus on Oh, great. All right. I want you to update the instructions specifically about looking for signals or data that might identify. And you could think about this like columns again. We talked about columns, that concept of unique columns of data. These are other things that I might want you to look for. Can you update the instruction set when thinking about unique and bespoke ways to look at data to include all this information? To make sure that A, you've gathered as much context as possible by looking through the web, specifically around their customers, competitors, and what both their customers and competitors have said online, as well as this additional information. So can you update that research step for me? It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. I think I'm just going to include a picture of me, because the Jordan All right, let's go to LinkedIn and pull my picture. Whoa, this guy posted on LinkedIn about him posting on LinkedIn. Doodaloo, doodaloo, doodaloo. I wonder if I can paste. Oh. Uh-oh. Wow. Okay, that doesn't work. All right, I guess not. I want you to have the only starting question to be asked for a website. So I want to make sure that this GPT bot has to start with a company website, which they can either paste in all the context or give you the actual website. I don't want to offer any other starting questions. Can you adjust the bot? It's really important that this is a structured approach. Now, it's really important to follow the structured approach where every individual question must come after the next piece. Can you just make sure that the order in which we've talked about earlier is enforced dramatically? When I built these bots in the past, this was a problem. Yeah, this was a problem. All right, I might be pretty happy with this. Let's actually start with another company. It's not an AI company. It might be hard to find. You don't want a cybersecurity. Whoa. Whoa. Seems like totally, oh, Indonesia. That's too hard. Wow, microgravity. Oh, email newsletter. Wow, this is hard. Oh. Okay, this seems like, I don't know, kind of commoditized, so this would be a perfect example for Jordan GPT. Why is is my Chrome zoomed to the wrong thing? Remove the picture of Jordan GPT. Oh, it doesn't like that. Ah! It doesn't like that. Oh, here we go. Oh, upload photo. Headshot. Now let's use a little picture of me. Okay, now it's interesting that there's actually not a lot of instructions, which is kind of fascinating. Okay, let's just create this. only me for now. All right. Nope, not what I wanted to do. Great. All right, we got beehive. Whoa. This is better. Go, okay. Next. Great. Substack, that's a good one. ConvertK, yeah. I don't know MailerLite. Oh, cons, this is really helpful. I know Flowdesk. My friend Marta runs that. Great, 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 great. Okay, next. Oh, God, I hate this. Oh, this might be... yeah, let's see what happens if it validates this. Okay. Okay. Maybe. Now this is kind of interesting because let's actually just see where this is going, because I think this is wrong. Let's actually figure out who's it for. Oh, these are sports. See, these are all individual people. Oh, I love Excel. Actually, I should just use Beehive. How's the pricing on this thing? Oh. Oh, nice. Oh, that's, they've got the upgrade thing. That's really clever. Okay. So I don't, well, I'm going to continue because I think this is wrong. Yeah, I think actually I need to make it choose. All right, let's go and edit Jordan GPT. Okay, I want to interject a step. One of the steps is to identify all the different possible data sources, but really there's generally one place to start. There's always just one great place to start. And so what I want you to do is first, once we've defined all the breadth of different options, of different ways to build this, I want you to evaluate those options as if you were the buyer and say, is this the very best option that covers most of the use cases? So, for example, if I'm targeting durable medical equipment companies, there are associations that track those that are public, or there's a Medicaid list here of which companies are durable medical equipment companies. That's generally a good place to start in this niche. But what I want you to do is add a really critical step that gets ultra creative, that doesn't just look at the sources that you have provided, that searches the web too, and brings the existing ideas plus searching the web to figure out where is the best place where I can build a list of people that are doing this. It might be as simple as a tool like Built With, but it might be more complex. So this is where I need you to get ultra creative and then also ultra specific and pick only one place, one initial data source to build the total addressable market list that covers at least 80% of the use cases where there won't be a lot of splash. So industry targeting, for example, is generally bad because it doesn't really capture the essence of who companies target. So that's what I'm looking for here, is like, what's the one data source that seems to have a lot of this, is really, really relevant to where the buyers hang out, and will capture most of those buyers that have the highest. They don't necessarily have to have the highest amount of pain, but this is where if I contacted 80% of the people from this particular data source with these filters, that it would capture a lot of people in my total addressable market. Can you update this GPT with this information? So basically it's like, hey, we could use any of these data sources, but generally I find that when I do this manually, that there's like kind of one data source to identify. Now, it's possible that I'm asking the bot to do too much, that really I should focus on just finding the right starting data source, but I'm ambitious. And the models only get better, so I'm hoping that, like right now, in GPT-4, it would not follow instructions well at all, but 4.0 does seem to do that. And I haven't really tried Jordan GPT 1.0, but I've just learned some things since then. All right, great. So let's try this again. Updates pending. Update. Great. Let's actually do a website that I know a little bit about. Okay, next. This was a problem last time too. Okay, this is all right. This is right. Yeah, this is really right. Yes, okay. Yeah, that's their primary competitor. I don't know this one, actually. I don't know that one either. It's interesting that it didn't find, I know that one. Yeah. Yeah, wow. This is really good. Great. I hope it's going to modify this now. Wow, it's good. I bet you the IIPP directory is going to be very helpful. Let's actually do. Let's do some edits here. I wanna change one thing. Anytime in any step that you're actually recommending a tool or a solution, I want you to search the web and find the live link for that solution. So I never want you ever to talk about a public resource without actually giving the absolutely correct link as it exists today. And you can spend as much time as you need searching the web to make sure that everything in the chat is linked so people can easily explore. Please update all of your steps to include this information. I think generally the fidelity of this information gets a little hard because I'm having conversation with the chatbot, and all it's doing is it's actually whittling. So if you look at the configure step, it's just taking those instructions and kind of making them smaller in some cases. And so probably a more rigorous way to build this bot is to build the instruction set inside of GPT 4.0 or inside of Claude, and then one by one paste that. But like if we go back to the instructions, you'll see that the instructions for this bot are actually pretty simple. And so one of the things that I might do is I might just talk about a bunch of different signals and put that in the knowledge base. Okay, good, it's updating. We're gonna try this again. And I'm probably gonna end this video. Because only me, save. All right, let's try this again. Oops, let's go back. Copy link. Nope, not what I want to do. All right, let's try this again. And let's do catch it. Do I want to do catch? Who do I want to do? Looks like a good mid-market company. Oh, Service Bell. Okay, great. Oh, yeah, this is something. Also, at the end of every step, I want you to make it abundantly clear what the next steps will be. Always repeat the next steps and then tell the user that all they have to do is say continue. Sometimes it's not really clear here. Can you update all the instructions accordingly? Basically, it's like, well, what do I do next? Do I ask a question? No, it's like the GPT should be able to do it. All right, go on. Yep, yep, yep. Yeah, okay. I have to take this offline because this is going to take some more work. But basically, I think that as you're building these chatbots, one of the things that you should probably do is, and this is what I did with the first Jordan GPT, is I structured the I first had a long conversation with ChatGPT and structured all that knowledge. I exported all that knowledge, and then I didn't use the configure option. I actually just had another conversation and then pasted that into the configure section, because one of the challenges when building these chatbots is that it's continuing to summarize, but I don't want it to do that. I actually want it to expand that prompt, or even to reference pieces in the knowledge set, which the configure doesn't really allow you to do. And so I think when thinking about these chatbots, one of the things that is probably the best way to go about this is to first work with the tool to build your knowledge set, and then have the configure section reference your knowledge set. Even though this has been updated, it's getting closer, but it's not doing a lot of what I want it to do. I hope this is helpful. I know this is like a little bit of a meandering video, but my point was to kind of teach you my thinking process, which people seem to like those videos. So enjoy, and I'll get back to my regularly scheduled useful content, not my random thinking content. All right, bye everyone.